What's up guys, my name is Devin and welcome back to another episode of Footballrs. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing and reviewing the Vicis Arc V1 shoulder pads. Alright guys, so here are the pads we're going to be taking a look at today. Again, these are the Vicis Arc V1. This is the skill shoulder pad from Vicis, of course. Let's take a look. As you guys probably know, Vicis has been one of the best new helmet manufacturers in the game, and now they've kind of extended their reach to shoulder pads. So this is their first shoulder pad. Again, this is the Arc V1, and this thing is jam-packed with technology, just like their helmets are. So I'm super excited to get into this, take a look at it for you guys, and give you guys a nice full in-depth review. So first, let's take a look at the outer shell. As you guys can see, it's this very unique material. It's not carbon fiber. They were very clear that this is not carbon fiber, so it's a little bit different of a material. In the full review, we'll kind of get into all of the specifics. For this part of the video, we're just going to take a nice look, give you the first impression. One of the first things I noticed when I grabbed these shoulder pads is this gold hardware all the way through, and these are not usual rivets that you guys see on shoulder pads. These are torque screws. So if you guys decide to replace a part on these shoulder pads, it's super easy to take it apart. You don't have to drill out any rivets and just use a nice little Torx bit and get these screws out and then back in. And like I mentioned, these Torx are all over. You've got three here, two up here, two here. They are literally all over these shoulder pads. And check out some of the branding on the back as well. Vicis, and then the word Arc right there. Very clean. So the first thing I noticed when I pick up these shoulder pads is that they weigh very little. So I mentioned this is not carbon fiber, but it's a similar strong, lightweight material. These are definitely some of the lighter pads on the market, and this material is everywhere. You see it up here, on this upper arm pad here, of course the front and back of the shoulder pads. The entire shell is made from this material. I will get you guys the name of the material when I do the full review. There's a lot of insane innovation that kind of went into these, so I'll get all of that to you in the full review. Also, just for reference, this is a medium for 17 to 18 inch across the chest. So that's the size we got here. So next thing I want to talk about is the padding on the inside. So similar to the padding that you guys have seen on their helmets, let me grab one for you guys. It's completely modular. So you guys can take this padding out and switch it out for one that's a different size. So for example, let me grab this. Wow, that was a lot. So you guys can see it pops right out. This is the back left. And then the thickness on this is 0.375. But if you guys want a little bit tighter fit, you can get a thicker padding. And then, like I said, it just Velcros right in there super easily. And then boom, you have a custom pair of shoulder pads. It's really cool. They took some of the R&D that they put into their helmets and kind of integrated it into their shoulder pads as well. I think it's really cool. This padding also is very unique. It's very soft and cushiony. Let's see if I can grab this piece and kind of show you guys what I'm talking about here. Look how easy that is to take off, but check it out. So it's a nice thick foam. So it's going to do a nice job absorbing that impact and also, sitting comfortably against your body. Because when you're wearing shoulder pads, you don't want it to be hard plastic up against your shoulders. So this is a nice soft material that, again, it's going to absorb that impact and feel nice and comfortable on you. While I have it open, you guys can really get a full view of all the padding on these. Of course, you have the pads on the front and back, but then you also have some really nice cushion in the shoulders and around the arm as well. So that's really nice. It's going to offer a little bit of extra protection, but there's just so much padding all over these pads, and it's high quality stuff. Like I said, this is the same stuff that they use in their helmets, and it's completely modular, so you can kind of take stuff out, swap in different size pads to get a perfect fit for you. The next thing you might notice is a back plate. So this comes with a built-in back plate. It's that same material, and then it has like a nice soft quilted design on the back, and then it's also really soft against your lower back as well. And it's very protective. It feels good. Big fan of this back plate, and it's also a nice size. I feel like a lot of companies make these back plates that are huge, oversized, and they can get kind of uncomfortable when the jersey goes over it, but this is kind of a more low profile one, and it looks really good. Next thing I want to talk about is kind of these shoulder pads, the epaulets. So this is that top pad here. This is the one that you're going to hit guys with. Of course, it can come up, and like I said, they have Torx screws. You can take it off and replace it with different sizes. I'm not sure if they have different sizes, but that's often the case. But it's that same material that you guys saw on the back of the back plate. It's very soft, very comfortable, does a nice job absorbing that impact. And also something that's pretty cool, it's kind of hard to tell, but the hardware that kind of bolts up to it locks into place in this little groove on the shoulder here. So it doesn't move back and forth because it's locked into that plastic. So you guys aren't going to have this moving around on you and then, be exposed when you go to make a tackle. So that's really nice. And then this little piece right here is really nice. Also check out the detail on there. The little Vicis badge is very cool. And then you get that same material underneath again. This stuff, it feels really nice. It's a really premium experience. And then like I showed you guys some of this padding from the inside, but it's nice to see kind of where it's going to line up on your body. So this is going to offer just a little bit more protection on the top top of your shoulders in a place that you need. A lot of guys get injuries here, so it's very important to have this piece. I know I already talked about this area a little bit when you guys saw it earlier, but right here is a very important pad. So this is called the AC zone. So your AC joint, that's a place where a lot of guys get injuries, and this has kind of a little notch, which is going to kind of fit in there nicely and give it a little bit more protection, so less guys are going to get those AC joint injuries. So the next thing that makes these pads unique is their belt system. So as you guys can see, it kind of has like a zip tie kind of function, kind of like the ratchet strap, similar to what we see on the Riddell Speedflex, the cam lock system, but it's a little bit different. So here is the strap here. It says Forever Forward, very nice. And just like a zip tie, for lack of a better word, it's hard to do when it's not on you. It's so much easier when it's on you, but locks in place. It's not going anywhere. And then to release it, you pull out and back. It's super simple. It's not going to come undone while you're playing football. It's very cool stuff, dude. I don't know who cooked this up, but like, it's in there, it's locked, it's not going anywhere. And then out, back. Oop, I messed up. Out, back, boom, it's released. Very cool. Then you also get a nice little piece of material here, which is gonna just kind of provide some comfort so you're not up against this strap, which is pretty nice. Also, just taking a closer look at kind of what we got going on here. It's kind of wrapped in this nice material, and then here is the pull tab. It's very durable because you really got to yank on this thing to get these pads off, or unstrapped at least. So that's pretty cool. And also, this is gonna be kind of tough to explain, but the purpose of this belt system is that when you pull it all the way tight, and that's exactly where you want it. But what you have to do first is get it to fit you correctly, which is where these red wheels come in. So let me pop this off. It's like a visor clip, and I lost it. But basically you use the hardware and you kind of find exactly where you need to be so that when it is pulled all the way tight, it's a perfect fit. So every time you put on the shoulder pads, once you yank that strap all the way forward, it's exactly where you want it every single time. It's the perfect fit, and that comes when you adjust these. It's kind of hard to explain. It's a little bit tricky, but there's a lot of videos out there that Vicis has come out with to how to fit these properly, but it isn't an easy process. But they do come with some hardware. So this is the hardware that you're going to put in this hole to kind of lock in wherever that perfect fit might be for you. It might be the third, second, first, or if you're a smaller guy, even a little bit closer here. So if you get that perfect locked in fit, you know, regardless, every single time you strap this up, you get a perfect fit. Again, it's a lot of words. It's kind of hard to explain, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Now for me, I already tried them on and kind of got a little fitting lesson from one of the guys over at Vicis. So I am going to put these bolts in the 3 spot. Also, check it out. We got a little bit of Loctite on there. So when you get these in, they're not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to put them in the 3rd hole for me, but it'll be different, you know, for every person. And then I believe I have a tool as well. I'm just going to start threading it a little bit here. And then where's the other one? So by no means is this a lesson on how to fit them. Like I said, Vicis has videos on how to do this, but I have to set them up anyway to go test them out, so I might as well do it. Now that I got them started, they sent me a little tiny kit so I can kind of tighten these down. I believe this kit should come with the shoulder pads. All right, so here is the little Torx screwdriver they gave me so I can tighten these down and get that nice locked in fit. And also you get this other tool I showed you guys earlier, and that kind of holds the back of the screw in place. You guys can tighten it on there really well. Just kind of keeps it from moving around. It's easier to do it with the tool than your fingers. You put both of these pieces on either side of the square backing, and then you just screw it in from there. I will attempt to show you guys on this one. Let me just move the padding. So as you guys can see, we have this piece right here, and then we kind of notch it on either side, and then we tighten down the Torx like that. Pretty cool. They really thought of everything with these. And then again, this is no means a demonstration on how to fit these properly. Contact Vicis, check out their videos. I'm certainly not certified, but gotta get it ready for me. Also, if I were to do this again, I would run these loops into the little hole they have here before I tighten them down, but I'm just gonna leave it for now. Yeah, so now that I've got it kind of sized where I want, it's time to get these tested. But I pretty much gave you guys a nice first impression of these shoulder pads. I know it's kind of all over the place, but these are super new to me, so I'm very excited to check them out. But there's a lot to cover, so stay tuned for the test, and then of course the full review on these. Now that you guys have watched the full unboxing, it's time to dive into the review. We're going to take a look at the comfort, the fit, the range of mobility, the protection, the style, what position these are going to be best for, and of course the price. The first thing we're going to talk about is comfort. Now just like Vicis football helmets, these shoulder pads are super comfortable. Now I think it all starts with the padding that these have. The padding on these is a totally modular cushioned air system. There are tons of pads throughout the inside of the pads, and then the pads are extremely cushioned and extremely soft. As you guys saw in the unboxing, the pads are Velcro, so they're easy to take on and off, and they're completely modular. Now each pad has a set thickness, but just like the helmets, you guys can take these out and replace them with one that's thicker or thinner so you can get the perfect fit. They are super easy to pop off and replace, and the pads themselves are very high quality. Throughout these shoulder pads, there is no uncomfortable pinching or any of the pieces pressed up against your body in an uncomfortable manner. They are extremely thorough in including pieces to protect your body from the straps and make everything very soft and just comfortable to wear all around. The next thing is something you don't really think about when buying shoulder pads, but that's the fact that they stay super dry. These pads are referred to as moisture impervious, which means they do not soak up any of the water or sweat like some of the other brands on the market do. Obviously, when pads fill up with sweat or water, they get really heavy and often uncomfortable, but these pads do not do that whatsoever. They do a great job kind of repelling that water, and it doesn't soak any up. Overall, the comfort on these is excellent. The pads are really nice, and there's really nothing negative to say comfort-wise. The next thing we're going to talk about is the fit. The fit on these is also amazing. Again, the modular air cushioning allows you to get a completely custom fitting pair of pads exactly how you want them. These pads even have a special shaped pad that goes right over your AC joint to kind of lock it in, and you can move it around so it fits perfectly wherever your AC joint is on your body. Of course, this does help with the fit, but it also helps give the AC joint a little bit of extra protection. This is kind of a common injury point for football players, so it's great that Vicis took that extra step. These pads fit so well on your body, and there's little to no movement whatsoever when you're moving around. With other pads, you notice they kind of start to ride up and you kind of have to keep pulling them down, but these stay totally planted the whole time. These truly felt like an extension of my body, and you can even see the pads kind of moving with my body instead of against it. The next piece is going to be their unique shift belt system. As you guys saw in the unboxing, this belt is unique to these pads and they are very cool. But basically with just 2 torque screws, you can set these up to give you the exact perfect fit every time you pull those belts nice and tight. And once they're locked in, they're not going anywhere until you pull the special release system. Also, as far as fit, these belts kind of come around and grab you right around your pec, which helps keep them from moving around on your body. And again, it makes it feel like the shoulder pads are part of you. I don't think I've ever tested a pair of shoulder pads that were as locked in as these shoulder pads were. Overall, between the padding all the way around and this new belt system, I think the fit on these is as good as you can get in a pair of shoulder pads. The next thing we're going to talk about is the range of mobility. The range of mobility on these pads was also really good. Like I mentioned, these pads stay super planted on your body, and that's really helpful with range of motion. Sometimes pads can kind of ride up and it kind of makes it harder to move your arms, but these were so planted it wasn't really an issue. They just stayed planted. I also felt like I was able to move my arms pretty much all the way around with no issues whatsoever, and a throwing motion felt completely natural. Overall, the pads don't really hinder your range of motion that much at all, and they kind of move with you with everything you do, which is exactly what you want. The next thing we're going to talk about is protection. It's tough for me to review a pair of shoulder pads without wearing them in a practice in a game, but these seem really, really good. Now the outer shell on these is built from what Vicis calls their Curve material. Curve is a self-reinforced thermoplastic composite which does an excellent job absorbing impact while maintaining its rigidity. The material is also super lightweight and very durable. Then along with that Curve material, these have the air cushion pads we talked about earlier. These pads use a combination of foam right where you need it and then air cushioning to give you plenty of comfortable protection. When you put your shoulder into someone with these, you have plenty of coverage and the pads do a good job absorbing the majority of that impact. The epaulets on these have a notch so they can lock in and not move around and leave you exposed when making a play. Overall, the materials on these pads seem to be very advanced and the protection is next level. The next thing we're going to talk about is the style. Now, I don't think anybody would disagree with me, but these are some of the best looking shoulder pads I've ever seen. The black weave of the Curve material with the gold accents all the way throughout is such a good look, and the diamond stitch padding on the back of the back plate and under the shoulder pieces is just so nice. These are truly the most modern looking shoulder pads on the market and probably the best looking pads as well. Now, of course, these are shoulder pads, so not a lot of people are going to see them, but they do look pretty good under the pads as well. There are already some NFL guys who have made the switch, and you guys can check them out how they look under their jerseys. They look super low profile and very clean underneath the jersey as well. Overall, I think these things look great without the jersey. With the jersey, they're just a good looking pair of shoulder pads with some really nice details. The next thing we're going to talk about is the position. Now, for positions, they make these pads for everybody. They have 3 versions: skill, all-purpose, and trench. The all-purpose is exactly how it sounds. It's meant for all-purpose players and big skills. And then the skill pads are for skill players, so nice, lightweight speed guys. And then, of course, the trench pads are for the guys in the trenches, the linemen. They have a bunch of different sizes available. I'll put up a sizing chart so you guys can check it out, and then you just kind of measure your chest and then get the right pair for you. But overall, they have these pads for everybody, so anybody can be comfortable with good protection. The next thing we're going to talk about is the price. The price on these is $750. Now, $750 priced them out of a lot of people's budget and makes them some of the priciest pads on the market. Now, yes, they are expensive, but they also have some of the most innovative tech and overall are some of the best shoulder pads you can buy. The modularity, comfort, and fit is top notch, and the materials they used are extremely advanced. Now, I'm not sure if the average person can grab these, but if you have the means, these are an excellent pair of shoulder pads. Overall, these might be my new favorite shoulder pads on the market. The materials feel so advanced, and then the comfort and fit is just on another level. They feel incredibly good, and they're just super locked in on the body. They don't move around, like I said, they don't ride up whatsoever. They just feel super locked on and move with you with every move. I love that. I think these shoulder pads are gonna catch on pretty quickly, especially in the NFL and among guys who have the budget to spend $750 on a pair of shoulder pads. These are truly some of the best shoulder pads on the market, and like I said, they're gonna start popping up all over the place. There you guys have it. There's the full unboxing review on the Vicis Arc V1 shoulder pads. Let me know in the comments if you guys think these are worth $750 if you're gonna get a pair for yourself. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, like the video, comment what you guys want to see us do next, and make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this one. My name is Devin, and thank you guys so much for tuning into another episode of Footballrs.